This is the review key for the chapter 2.1 through 2.3 quiz review. I'm going to do all of these problems as quickly as I can to keep this video as short as possible. Pause it where you need. All right, this one says solve the equation algebraically. It gives me an equation. It gives me 6x squared plus 7x minus 10. I will set that equal to 0, and I'm trying to x-wing factor it. Generally speaking, I try the closest two, so I'll try 2 and 3. And now I need to get like a 5 and a 2 here to get me to 10. I put a 5 and a 2, and I'm gonna make the 5 negative, so that'd be like negative 10 and positive 6. That's not 7 for a middle term. That doesn't work. If I switch the 5 and the 2 around, I get negative 4 and I get 15, negative 4 and 15. That's not the 7. So point is, sometimes your first guess doesn't work. I'm gonna try two other numbers. I'm gonna try 6 and 1. 6 and 1, factors of negative 10. I'm gonna put a 2 and a 5 here, and I think I want my 5 negative. Let's try the x-wing. That's 12 when I do those two. And those two make negative 5, which gets me to 7 for my middle term, and I got it. My two factors are x plus 2 and 6x minus 5. I set those equal to 0. This one's really easy. X is negative 2. This one, I'll set 6x minus 5 equal to 0. What I did over here is I set x plus 2 equal to 0. Got x is negative 2. 6x minus 5 equals 0. If I add 5 and divide by 6, I get x is equal to 5/6. So my two answers are 2 and 5/6. Solve it algebraically. If you couldn't do that, you could use the quadratic formula. Solve the equation graphically. Well, I already put it in on my graphing calculator. I'm going to graph it, and it draws this U-shaped, which I would expect. And I notice on the U-shape, there's an intercept at 0, and then one right in here. I'm gonna zoom in once just to see what's going on there. Crosses at negative 2 and crosses at, oh, that's 5/6. Crosses at negative 2, crosses at 5/6. Solve it graphically is literally look at the picture. It's supposed to cross about 5/6 and go like this. And I got it. And I might even go like this. Same. Yay, those two are the same. All right, find the vertex, all that stuff. Well, I do have it on my graphing calculator already, but I'm gonna do this stuff algebraically. Find the vertex is negative b over 2a and plug it in. So I'm gonna do the negative b value, which is negative 7 all over 2 times the a value, and the a value is 6. So I got negative 7 over 12. Nice part about having it on this thing already is I can go ahead and I can trace negative 7/12, and it will spit out an answer, negative 12.04. Negative 12.04, and I don't care if it's in decimal or, you know what, I'm gonna write them both in decimals, so I'm gonna quit out of there. I'm gonna go 7 divided by 12, and my decimal for the vertex is negative 0.58, and then that negative 12.04. There's the vertex. The axis of symmetry goes through the vertex. It is a U, and it goes through the vertex right there. It goes through the x value of the vertex. The axis of symmetry is simply x equals that x value, negative 0.58. Min or max? Well, it bottoms out, so it has a minimum value at a value of negative 0.58, negative 12.04. Bonus, write the equation in the form by completing the square. I'm gonna let you figure that one out. It is a bonus on the quiz. Next one, a daily revenue function for a company is given by that formula. I actually have it on my calculator already. And what I see is that is upside down. It's an upside down parabola, so I have a situation like this. And it's a revenue function. They want to know x is the max number of units produced. Well, if I'm looking at this, the max number of units produced is right there. So this is literally a find the vertex problem. Negative b over 2 times a, b, a, and I get negative 400 over negative 2, I get 200. So that's the max units that we should produce. I take that and plug it in, and that'll give me my max profit or my max revenue. These two are the same. So if I take that 200 and I go negative 200 squared plus 400 times 200 on my calculator, I will get that max profit. I also have it on a graphing calculator. I could do it this way. It is a little hard to see on the graphing calculator, so I'm going to go ahead and plug that math in. There it is, and I get 40,000. So if I was going to write this in an ordered pair form, I would make 200 units at a $40,000 max profit. All right, explain the given solutions fit with the graph. There are no real solutions. All I have to do is look at the graph and notice there are no x-intercepts. No x-ints equal no real solutions. All right, that was page 1. Page 2. Oops, wrong one. All right, this page says, find all the zeros. You must show the algebra. Use your graphing calculator to check and draw the graph. So finding all zeros is literally taking this and setting it equal to 0. 169 square root, x equals plus or minus 13, x equals plus or minus 13. This is also dots. You could have factored it into x minus 13 and x plus 13 and set those equal to 0 and got the same answers. I did mention on this thing to go ahead and check it on your graphing calculator if you want to. So I just want to talk about that for a second. I went ahead and I entered it on my graphing calculator. And what I can do with that is hit my graph button, but it really doesn't show up. Well, it's a U that went way down, so I bet this thing exists way down here. Maybe I can zoom out once. And, oh, there it is. There's a U, I thought. And if those two intercepts match up with those two answers, then I got it right. So I'm going to take my little cursor over here, and what do you know? That's about negative 13 for that intercept, and I got negative 13. There's my other intercept at positive 13. So you can use these calculators to check, but you do need to show me this algebra here. All right, next one. I'm going to set it equal to 0. And I'm going to factor a 3 out to start. So I'm just going to take a 3 and I'm going to pull it out. Oops. Pulling a 3 out of the 21, I get 7. And pulling a 3 out of that, I get 144. Okay, so I get that down to there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to x-wing this guy. So there's a 1 and 1 in front of x to the 4th. Don't count the 3. 144 is like 12 and 12, but that's not going to work. So maybe 16 times 9 is 144. Maybe go like that. Let's try that. Negative 16 and 9 is negative 7. Oh, that's my middle term. So this part right here factors into x squared, because that's x to the 4th, x squared minus 16. And this one over here would be x squared plus 9. And if I set these two equal to 0, I find x squared equals 16, and x is plus or minus 4. And I find x squared equals negative 9. And right here, I'll let you put the I, if you remember from algebra, or you can write no real solutions for this part. So I'm going to write up here that x equals plus or minus 4 because these aren't real solutions. And in this class, we actually haven't dealt with the I yet. So let's look at the graph real quick. Same equation. hit the graph button. It comes down here, it clips the axes at -4, it clips the axes at +4. These don't exist on that graph, so there's my two real solutions, plus or minus 4. All right, next one. Hint, factor out an x to start. So I'm gonna take an x out of all three of those. I'm left with x squared minus 4x minus 21. From there, I'm going to x-wing this guy. Actually, I think I can do it without x-winging. X and x is x squared. Factors of 21 that are -4. It's got to be -7 and +3. Let me see. That's -7x plus 3x is -4x. Yes, foiling it out works. So I get x is 0. I get x is 7. And I get x is -3. And what I would expect on my graph is for those things to hit in those spots. So again, here's my graph. I plugged it in on my graphing calculator. I graph, and it says Johnny T looking thing like that. I can see the Johnny T is because it's x cubed, and it hits at -1, 2, 3. It hits at 0, and it's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 0, 3, and -3 and 7 are right. All right, here we go. I'm gonna finish this guy up here, and I'll hit pause, and then I'll show you the last little chunk after this. All right, draw me a graph that has zeros at -1, 3, and 5, -1, 3, and 5. It's an even degree, which means it's U-shaped, and the positive leading coefficient, so that means it's gonna go something like that. So let me see if I can get a graph on here. Ooh, there it is. It's got the right zeros, even degree, so it's Johnny, or not Johnny T, it's the U shape with jigginess, positive leading coefficient, I think I got it. All right, negative leading coefficient, odd degree, so it's Johnny T like this, 4 turns, a solution at x equals 3. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 turns, odd. I think I got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, solution at 3, negative leading coefficient, odd, perfect. Even degree, no zeros, end behavior. As x goes to -infinity, f of x goes down. As x goes to +infinity, f of x goes down. So it's even degree, so it's u. The ends go down. I'm thinking it's gonna have to be something like this. No solutions because it doesn't hit the x-axis. All right, tell me what each arrow does. That flips over x-axis. That actually, because it's a fraction, it compresses graph. Or makes it vertically compress, or shrinks it vertically, or whatever you want to put there. -4 inside the parentheses is right. 4 cubed is Johnny T. +3 is up 3. Tell me the end behavior. Odd, negative. Okay, so odd but negative. The graph's gonna look something like that. So my left side behavior, as I go left, as x goes to -infinity, my function f of x goes up. And the right side, as x goes to +infinity, as I go to the right, my function f of x goes down. All right, this is part 1 of the quiz review. There is a part 2, so make sure this part is done and then move on to part 2.